Welcome to the virtual job fair. My name is Stephen Bridges. I'm with Workforce Solutions Greater Dallas. And today we're talking with the city of Mesquite about some job opportunities that they have. And sitting with me today, I have Jennifer Weldon.
Hi.
Jennifer is the Assistant Director of Human Resources. And Jennifer, I understand that you have several positions available throughout the city of Mesquite.
We do have several. We have a total of 40 positions open right now, but we would like to highlight our positions that are really open most frequently for this virtual job event.
These are the 6 positions. We have a concrete finisher. We have an equipment mechanic, an equipment operator 2. We have a maintenance worker 2, a residential solid waste helper, and a park grounds maintenance technician. If you're listening to this and you're looking for some of these positions and you want to know where to apply, well, one place that you can go and apply is at the workintexas.com system. We've listed all of the City of Mesquite's positions in there, so you can log in there and find these positions and apply. So as soon as you click on how to apply, it's going to take you to the City of Mesquite's website, that exact job address, and you can apply there. Before we move on, let's talk about a little bit about working for the City of Mesquite.
Okay.
Tell me, what are some of the benefits of actually coming to the city and working?
Yeah, so we have a very competitive benefit package. Every year we really kind of measure ourselves against what other municipalities offer because we want to stay competitive in the municipal world. So we actually last year started a free benefit program. So you can actually come and work for the City of Mesquite. We have an option for employee-only coverage, free medical, dental, vision, and life insurance. Coming in the door, once you're benefit eligible, you can have this coverage for yourself. If you have dependents, obviously there's an additional fee for that. And we have different packages, but our base package is truly free to employees. There's a zero deduction from that paycheck.
That's amazing. You come in and it's all taken care of.
It is.
That's wonderful. How soon does it take to become eligible?
The first day of the month after your initial 30 days. Say you start on August the 15th, your benefits would kick in October the 1st.
Wow, that's actually pretty quick. A lot of places you have to be there at least 6 months or 3 months before it kicks in.
And another benefit I would like to highlight is our pension plan. So these really don't exist in the world anymore. Most people have 401ks, but we actually have a true pension plan through Texas Municipal Retirement System. Mm-hmm. So 7% off the bat from an employee's gross pay goes into TMRS, but the city matches it at 200%. And this goes with the employee. If they're vested, they retire from TMRS, they get to keep all this money, their contribution and the city's contribution. We can say if an employee put in $20,000 in this account, the city will actually match it with $40,000 plus any interest that's accumulated. So it truly is free money to help to get our employees a good retirement. We try to take care of our employees.
It sounds like it. It sounds like the city of Mesquite really cares about the employees that, because they're taking care of the city. So
we do. We really do. We have a hard job, and working as public servants can be difficult sometimes, but we have a great employee base. We have a great executive team. We have great supervisors and managers. Most of our supervisors or managers have actually worked their way up from line level positions, so they know how to do the job. They know the importance of customer service, of keeping yourself safe on the job. They can really step in and do the job when needed. So we really do have a good organization, and we're always looking for bright new faces.
Great. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these positions. We have a concrete finisher position. Now, is this an entry level or do you need experience for this role?
This position is actually not an entry level. However, it only requires 1 year of experience in concrete finishing, and you must have a valid Class A driver's license. Now, something the City of Mesquite does a little different. We have certified CDL program through the Texas Department of Public Safety, and we are authorized as a third-party administrator to actually administer the pre-test and the driving portion of passing the CDL test. So you do have to go into the office to do the driving portion. However, we have certified instructors on site that will walk you through the pre-trip and driving portion to help you pass that test.
That's fantastic. So not only are you hiring for it, but you're also providing certification. So that's great.
Absolutely. So anyone that has a valid Class C driver's license should apply because we do offer that training.
If someone had relatable experience, what would be a typical transition into working for the city in this position?
Any kind of concrete finishing work, working with masonry, brick repairs, foundation, parking lot setting, working with concrete walls, sidewalk laying and repairs. Anything that truly has to do with laying concrete or concrete repairs would be ideal for this.
What's the schedule?
So this position is 7 to 3:30. Overtime is available. On-call duty is as necessary depending on the needs of the department. If you have a CDL, you do come in making $16 an hour. If you do not have a CDL, the position starts off at 15, and that's just because we're going to have to do that on the job training. But if you do have a CDL, you do get that dollar incentive.
If you're watching and you have any experience working with concrete, finishing, or masonry, definitely check this position out. Let's look at our next position. The next one we have is an equipment mechanic. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be entry level, right? Because you want people who are experienced in working.
You will notice on our website there is a posting salary range. So as you can imagine, the more experience, the more ASCs, the more certifications you come in with, the higher your salary will be coming in. We do have an Equipment Mechanic 1, which is the baseline for this position, and it requires 1 year of experience in automotive, truck, or equipment maintenance. It requires a high school diploma or GED. Also does require you to have a Class A, but as mentioned before, if you come in with a Class C, we have the resources available to help you obtain that license.
If someone had relatable experience, what would be a typical transition into working for the city in this position?
Some examples of previous experience to get you in the door as an equipment mechanic could be at a tire shop, auto care repair. We get a lot from dealerships, oil changes, tire repairs, any kind of repair on automobiles is going to be a good step in the right direction when applying for this position.
Tell me a little bit about the schedule for this position.
So there's actually 2 shifts for this. So the morning shift, or the day shift as we call it, is 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Overtime as necessary, and they do follow an on-call rotation. The night shift is from 2:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. They also are eligible for overtime in certain situations, and they do follow a on-call rotation. Now, an interesting thing about the night shift, you do get a 5% shift differential. So coming in the door, you'll have your base pay, but then if you work the night shift, you will get 5% on top of that just because you are working a night shift.
That's very interesting. You know, I don't think about sometimes like city municipalities having a night shift or something like that, but that makes total sense where you're having to, fix these vehicles while they're not being used, right? Or while people aren't having to take them out.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's move to the next one. I have an Equipment Operator 2. Now, what type of equipment are we talking about?
So we're talking about a wide variety: jackhammers, concrete saws, rollers, bulldozers, backhoes. It's going to be that heavy machinery.
Experience definitely can be, for this one, be working for another municipality, right? Or anything in the private sector where you're doing construction.
Absolutely.
The work schedule for this position is?
Most of our service center and maintenance type jobs are going to be worked at 7 to 3:30 shifts. So that one falls right in line with it. During the interview process, you do have to pass a skid steer loader test with the department because we do want to ensure that you know how to use this machinery because obviously it's for your safety and for ours.
Let's look at some of the next ones. We have a Maintenance Worker 2.
This position is really located in each of our public works divisions. And it does require 6 months of general labor experience, and that can be kind of a general term, but it really refers to maintaining clean and safe construction sites, if you've ever performed basic maintenance, setting up and organizing work sites, operating motorized equipment. That's the kind of experience we're looking for.
What is the schedule basically for the Maintenance Worker 2 position?
Some divisions do have a night shift. So if you're working the day shift, the schedule is 7 a.m. to 3:30. Of course, overtime is available when needed. On-call, if needed, is also a rotating schedule. If you're applying for the second shift, that schedule is going to be 3:30 to midnight. So it's a little bit different than some of our other schedules that go to 11 p.m. for second shift. The maintenance worker actually works until midnight.
Is there ever any calls on the weekends?
If it's your on-call rotation, there is a possibility you could get called out over the weekend, yes.
But that's okay because that probably means overtime.
It does. That is correct because that is hours on top of the regular shift already worked.
So let's look at one of the last positions that you have, which is a Residential Solid Waste Helper. Tell me a little bit about that.
So this position is actually offered at an entry level. So you don't have to have any experience and there is room to grow. There is a heavy lifting requirement, so you do have to perform a 3-hour kind of job preview test during the interview process. So if they bring you in for an interview, they're going to have you do the test, see how you feel, because it can be a tough job. We want to make sure you know what you're signing up for. But there is a 3-hour on-the-job preview test for this position.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Because I know I've been on positions or job interviews, and there was tests, but it wasn't necessarily a 3-hour physical test. So you're actually really trying to see if this person's going to be a good fit for that position.
Yeah, and you know, when we do interviews, not only are we interviewing the applicant's interviewing us. We want to make sure it is a good fit. If they get out there and learn, we've had some that say, I'm sorry, this just isn't for us, and that's fine. We appreciate that. We want to have that open dialogue to know this really isn't the position for me. So that's one of the purposes of having that job preview test during the interview process.
Okay, so this is entry level, so you do train, right? So this is a great opportunity for somebody to get their foot in the door with the City of Mesquite.
Exactly. You don't have to have experience. If you don't have a Class B, as this job requires, you come in as a residential solid waste trainee that pays $13.33 an hour. Once you obtain your Class B driver's license, you will become a solid waste helper, and your pay would be bumped up to $16 an hour.
Basically, within 90 days, you're looking for them to move up from a trainee, right?
Yes, that is true. Now, with COVID, the DPS office is kind of, the appointments are lagging.
Right.
So we understand that. So when we look at someone that hasn't obtained their license, we kind of look at their on-the-job performance. If they're still striving and they're trying to get their license and they're doing a good job, then we're willing to wait as long as needed to get that license.
Right. As long as you can see that they're actually trying to do it.
Absolutely. That's the key.
That's fantastic. So this is a great position. The shift, same, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, so a little bit different.
A little bit.
The next position is a park grounds maintenance technician. Tell me a little about it.
We have several openings right now. This is not an entry-level position. However, it only requires 3 months of experience with park maintenance or landscaping. This position also does require possession of a Texas Class C driver's license. So this position is responsible for operating a variety of tools and equipment, including power tools, lawnmowers, trucks, and tractors. Some of the job duties include park maintenance duties like mowing, raking, edging, pulling weeds, as well as clearing debris from the city parking lots. Another very important function of this job is assisting with park inspections to ensure the safety of the public and park facilities by noting safety hazards that could potentially cause injury.
Tell me a little bit about the schedule for this position.
This position is Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 3 p.m. Overtime is available as needed by the department. The starting pay for this position is going to depend on qualifications and experience of the applicant, so it's going to range from $11.36 per hour to $13.18 per hour.
We have all of these jobs posted on our workintexas.com site. So if you're interested, you can log on to workintexas.com. So let's talk really quickly about the culture of working for the City of Mesquite. What is the culture like?
You know, a lot of people will say that it does feel very family-like. We're very intertwined. I can tell you our public works department, which are the positions that we're highlighting today, a lot of them cross shifts together. They are on the same job site. And they're friends. I mean, we spend the majority of our life at work, and so the majority of their day is spent here. So we really do have a family atmosphere here at the city, and we're very proud of it. We're very proud of it.
What are some tips that you have for applying with the City of Mesquite?
They'll have to create an account through NeoGov if they don't already have one. Once they create that account, they would just click on the position and fill out the application accordingly. Now, we do have supplemental questions to help filter out applicants that may not be qualified for that specific position. So they will answer several questions. Those applications are then turned over to the hiring supervisors, which are typically the supervisors or managers in the department, for them to decide who they want to bring in for either phone interviews or in-person interviews.
What are some common mistakes that you see a lot of people make in their applications?
Number one, not being honest.
Really?
Yeah, and not accurately reading the description to know what they're applying for. We do get a lot of applications for some of our positions, and when hiring managers are looking at it and they see gaps of employment, that kind of makes a hiring manager try to guess, well, why didn't Jennifer work for 3 years? If for some reason you didn't work, whether it was to take care of a child or a parent, or you went back to school to explore furthering your education, just put it down.
Put some details
Let them
in
know
there.
that's why I was out of work for 3 years. I was doing X, Y, Z. It eliminates the hiring manager having to kind of guess what was going on during that time period.
Is there anything that you've noticed on applications that sometimes maybe it's not detailed enough, or there's not enough just background information for the hiring people to understand exactly what the people are doing? But for instance, some people will just list their job titles. You mentioned earlier, make sure you read the full job description, because we know that job titles and job descriptions aren't always the same. They don't always match up in every organization.
Exactly. And that's a great point. So when they're applying, a lot of times they'll just use their standard application. They don't really mold it to the position they're applying for. So if you're applying for several positions in our city, make sure you're changing your job experience to show, hey, I have experience in working on equipment, or I have experience supervising, or whatever the case may be, to match the position that you're applying for. Because you're trying to sell yourself. The application, you're selling yourself to get in for an interview. So make sure you're reading that job description and you're matching those requirements and those job duties with your past ones.
So there is an opportunity in the NeoGov system to actually customize that application per job that you're applying for.
Absolutely.
It's not like you put in one application and say, yes, I want to apply for this, 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 and this.
Every time you apply for a position, you have the ability to go in and change virtually every field. So that's the point where applicants would want to make those changes.
Yeah, so you want to go in there, you want to highlight the experience that's actually related to the job that you're applying for. It's not a one-size-fits-all. And we tell people that with Workforce Solutions, with their resumes all the time. You know, don't just take one resume and send it out to everybody and have them try to guess if you're a good fit or not based on all of your experience. Take the opportunity to customize, and you can do that, and that'll go a long way towards your hiring managers really understanding if they're a good fit.
It does. And speaking of resumes, and I'm glad you brought that up, one thing applicants will do, and we see this a lot, they'll put basic information on the application and then attach a resume. Well, no, because you should do it in both areas. Whether it's copying and pasting what's in your resume into the fields on the application, make sure you're very thorough and you read through the application, because the hiring supervisors, they want to know if you're detailed and if you're going to sell yourself. And give them all that information up front so that they don't have to go refer to your resume.
Yeah, I have seen people where I've just said, see resume. And to me, that tells me they're not serious about the job.
Absolutely.
That maybe they don't follow through very well, right? They're not going to be very detailed. And so whenever you're filling out an application for the city of Mesquite, make sure you do that. Make sure you fill it out in detail. Even if you said it on your resume, say it again on the application, because a lot of times it's that application that they're going to be going by. It's not necessarily the resume. So they'll use your resume as a bonus, but most of the decisions whether to bring you in for an interview or not are going to be based on that application that you put in the system.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So really quick, Jennifer, walk me through your pre-employment process.
Okay, perfect. So once you get in for your interview, and if the hiring supervisor says, we want to hire this person, they'll send over a contingent offer to HR, and that's when we really start our job. So we make sure you meet the minimum qualifications. For example, if a degree is required, if a certain amount of experience is required, we're going to review the application to make sure that that information is there. If there's any kind of college degree required, we will ask you to provide us that documentation. We do drug testing on our employees, and there is a background check.
So you definitely need them to be honest on their application, whatever it is, even if they have a background.
Absolutely.
You want them to put that down.
Absolutely. We here to say we realize good people make bad decisions at some point. And we're willing to give a second chance, but we just need to really know up front really what happened and what the circumstances were.
Right. You don't want to be surprised
Absolutely.
at the end after you make a job offer based on no background. You don't want to be hit with that, because that's basically a falsification of documents.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's look good.
Yeah, and that's really something that's kept in the HR office. It's not sent over to anyone in the department or the hiring managers. That's really once they come to us with a contingent offer, that's when we kind of ask the questions and we run the background checks. Because as you can imagine, working for a municipality, we are held to a higher standard. So that's why we have to have some of these extra steps in place.
Now, all of these positions do require experience, except for the last one, the residential solid waste helper. But as long as you have relatable experience, that whether it's from the private sector or another municipality, definitely go ahead and apply for those jobs. And this residential solid waste helper is entry level. So if you're looking just to get into the city of Mesquite and get your foot in the door, this is a great opportunity, because they will train for this position. And in fact, you actually train for the CDL part for all of these positions. So if you don't have that license, it's a great opportunity to get in there and even get that license to beef up your resume and hopefully be able to apply for other positions within the city of Mesquite.
Absolutely. The city is very big on promoting within. When we have a promotion opportunity, we would rather promote from the inside, because we know what we have from the inside. Right. So there's always opportunity for career growth here at the city.
That's excellent. Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us today on today's virtual job fair. This has been a great opportunity, and I'm sure we'll do this more. But before we go, you did say that you have up to 40 positions. We just highlighted 5 today, but you have up to 40 positions that are available?
Yes, currently we have 40 positions listed on our website that are open. We have some in our animal shelter. We had some out at our golf course. We really have a little bit of everything, from the line level employees all the way up to the managerial and executive level. So there's really something for everyone posted right now. Please go apply. We're trying to get interviews in and get our positions filled. We have work to do.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Of
Appreciate
course.
your time.
Thank you.